Have you ever heard of pareidolia? It's the psychological explanation behind why we, as humans, often see things such as the Virgin Mary on a slice of toast or grandfatherly faces in the bark of trees. Our minds naturally seek to create patterns out of chaos, to assign a more definite form to everything vague. I've been reading up on the phenomenon because, recently, I've been experiencing something genuinely peculiar. Before I explain what I've seen, I should point out that I haven't been in the best headspace recently. I recently suffered a death in the family, my little sister, Kelly, and I haven't been coping well. She was in a gruesome car accident just a few days after Christmas. A semi hadn't noticed her little car when merging, and paramedics claimed she died on impact. It was raining the night of the accident. I wonder if it had distracted my sister, as she always loved the rain. When we were children, she would go outside barefoot, spread her arms, and tilt her little face up to the sky, letting the raindrops wet her skin. I've never been fond of the rain, but it's safe to say, I hate it now. Not just because of what it took from me, but because I keep seeing something in the rain. I've tried telling myself it's just pareidolia, or my grief-stricken mind inventing something, but it looks so real. It's Kelly. I never saw her body afterward. We had a closed casket funeral, so I shouldn't know what she looked like. I shouldn't know how her neck broke or how her right side was practically concaved. But I do. I did before I'd even spoken with the coroner, because I saw her. I see her every night in the rain. In the distance, I see a figure that looks exactly like my sister, clawing at something, maybe a window. And the rush of rain sounds just like an engine. She looks like she's crying, repeatedly bashing her one good arm against nothing, until she suddenly, without warning, falls limp. I wish I could say that was the end. But after lying still for several moments, that shape in the rain stands up. It starts walking towards me, all of the broken bones mending, snapping back into place with jolting, robotic motions. When she's finally fixed, the Kelly, made of rain, spreads out her arms, just as she used to when we were little, and I think I can hear the wind outside, calling my name. I want to go out to see her, but it's impossible. As soon as I open the door, the illusion of my sister bursts like a water balloon, and I am left alone, in the rain. I'm usually a perfectly rational person, and I keep trying to find an explanation for why this is happening. So, here I am, on the internet. Has anyone else experienced anything like this? Or have I gone mad? There's a weird rumor in my dorm about a monster that only comes out when it rains. The rumor started last year when a freshman boy stated that he had seen a dark shadow lurking through the downstairs hallway one stormy night. After that, similar reports began floating in. Some boys insisted it was a Dracula-like figure, complete with a collared cape and fangs. Others claimed that it was actually a werewolf, covered from ears to tail in dark fur. Either way, what started as an innocent urban myth quickly grew. Some boys would huddle together in the common room, live streaming every creak and bump in the dormitory to capture evidence of the monster, while one more timid resident was so afraid of venturing out on rainy nights that he started peeing in a cup. These behaviors were eliciting complaints from the more normal boys, so it was apparent that something had to be done to prevent this situation from spiraling out of control. As my dorm's room advisor, I was assigned the task of reassuring the boys on my floor and monitoring the hallways on rainy nights. I was honestly not expecting much to happen. I figured the most exciting thing that could occur would be an argument with one of the younger boys refusing to leave the common area, but I was wrong. The monster ended up being real. It was just past midnight when I heard them squealing. 2 boys were standing out in their pajamas, repeating lines like, "Dude, did you just see that?" And, "No way, man. Was that for real?" At the commotion, I came out of my room and asked them what had happened. Of course, they claimed to have seen the monster. Soon, other boys were filing out at the noise. Everyone swore they heard a monstrous growl, but I had been awake and heard nothing. The storm outside raged on, and I wanted nothing more but to be tucked in bed, listening to the soothing rain, but I had responsibilities. To corral everyone back into their rooms, I told the boys that I would sit awake in the hallway for the duration of the night. I hoped this would put the monster to rest, once and for all. Some pouted, wanting to experience their thrilling monster hunt, but most of my dorm mates just sleepily waddled back to their rooms. One boy gently placed a frying pan in my lap, saying, "For the monster," as he passed. Armed with my cookware, I got out my calculus homework and prepared for what I expected to be a long, uneventful night. However, a few hours later, I heard a strange clattering from the stairwell. I thought it might be coming from someone from a different floor and hardly even looked up from my work. But it continued. "Hello?" I called, closing my textbook. "Do you need some help?" I clicked on my flashlight and carefully approached the stairs. "Come on," I said. "It's too late to be playing a prank. Go back to bed." There was no response, except the steady hammering of rain and the sound of stomping feet. I shined my light into the staircase and shrieked. A monster with blood-red eyes, a collared cape, and a body coated in black fur stood in the doorway. It lunged toward me, and I swung at it blindly. I wasn't even aware I still had the frying pan in my hand, until it resounded with a startling crack. Panting, I nudged the body with my foot. It groaned, sounding very human. I retreated to my room and called the cops. That's when the truth of the dorm's monster was revealed. Apparently, a rather hairy, homeless man had been squatting in the crawl space for over a year. He'd damaged it so that the rain seeped in on damp days and sought shelter within other parts of our dormitory. We'd both gotten off work late, and the rain was coming down so hard it must have held a grudge against the ground. It wasn't weather you could brave with a pair of galoshes and an umbrella. This was a torrential downpour, with zigzagging bullets of rain shooting in every direction. Not wanting to go out, I suggested we order in. It was 10, maybe 11. Either way, it was the latest I'd ever tried to DoorDash. I felt terrible about having to make some poor soul wade through the atmospheric ocean outside, but I hoped that a big tip would make it worth their while. Marla, my wife, was craving curry. That's not something we typically eat, but I chalked it up as one of her weird pregnancy cravings. I scrolled through the options, not expecting I'd be able to find an Indian restaurant open this late. However, it appeared fate was on Marla's side. There was this restaurant, it must have been a ghost kitchen, I've never seen it before, called None of Your Business. It was a cheeky name that earned a chuckle, so I decided to purchase from them. The menu was pretty standard, nothing unusual. Certainly nothing that suggested what was to come. Unaware that my life was about to be turned upside down, I placed an order for Marla's curry and a vegetable biryani for myself. This is where things get weird. I got a strange message directly after the order's confirmation turned green. It read, "This text concerns your DoorDash delivery. A change has occurred to your order. Click the link to verify the substitution." At first I thought, great, they'd better not be out of curry. Marla's going to be upset. But then I clicked on the link, and any semblance of thought was washed away by sheer bewilderment. My phone's screen was eclipsed by a woman with long blonde hair whom I did not recognize. Her face had been crossed out with a big red X, and there was something strange about her eyes. I couldn't immediately tell due to the grainy quality of the photo. It looked as if the flash had caused her to have red eyes. But then I zoomed in. Her eyes had been scooped out. I dropped my phone out of shock. It cracked against the tile of my kitchen floor. Landing face up, I could see the image on the shattered screen shift. Instead of the blonde woman, it showed Marla's driver's license photo. Below that was our daughter's ultrasound. In bold letters it advertised, 2 for the price of 1. I shakily bent to pick up my phone and the screen changed to a more familiar image. It showed the regular DoorDash map, and a ping informed me that my DoorDasher was about to arrive. Instead of just one red line signifying a singular DoorDasher, there were 3 moving inwards from each street surrounding my apartment. All of them read less than 1 minute away. A cold chill ran up my spine, and I rushed to the bedroom, hysterically shouting at Marla that we needed to leave. But I was too late. There was a tap on the window behind me. It was so quiet that I could have dismissed it as the rain. But Marla's eyes grew wide and fearful. Whatever it was, it moved fast, a blurry mess of bulbous yellow, and grabbed Marla before she could even scream. Alone, with rain gushing through my broken window, my phone dinged. Order updated. Eyes only.